Hello, beautiful people. Today I am going to be going over a nifty little technique that I'd like to call watercolor ASMR. I am also giving away this piece that I created for this video, so if you're interested in that, the details are at the end of the video. As usual, we start with supplies, which are kindly provided by Arteza and linked below, as well as a coupon for you. So I am using the 9x12 Expert watercolor paper, which is 100% cotton and has a nice cold pressed hand. The Expert drawing pencils, which I've been using a lot. And the secret ingredient for this is masking fluid, also known as Frisket. And then I select my color palette, and this is just really neutral earth tones because we are going to be painting the Sangre de Cristo mountain range in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. So we've got toffee, noir, and burnt sienna, and we are going to be mixing them all together like so. So I devised this technique when I was creating my very first fine art collection, and I wanted a way to capture these white graphic lines within this puddle of watercolor. And I did not want to do it digitally. I wanted the lines to be done by hand and imperfect and kind of organic. So I decided to use masking fluid. And masking fluid is essentially a plastic that goes on the watercolor paper. It dries and you can paint around it and it will mask off wherever you've laid it down. So it's super handy stuff. So what I do is I usually start with an inspiration image. In this case, I'm painting the Sangre de Cristo mountain range in the Rocky Mountains, where I'm going on vacation next week. I'll usually make these quite linear because the watercolor puddle is really organic and I really like the contrast of that. And I will do a light graphite drawing so I know where the fluid is going. And then I will take this plastic tool, I'm pretty sure it's for oil painting, and I will use that as a brush to apply the masking fluid. This is really handy actually because a masking fluid can ruin a brush pretty quickly. So once I have all of my lines masked off, I let it dry fully. I allowed this about half an hour to dry. It does dry pretty quickly. And then I will go around and I will put a puddle of water around the entire piece. And this is where the ASMR part starts. Then I don't really paint. I just kind of dab on the watercolor and let the pigment and the water do whatever they want. This is very much a practice in mostly just watching and enjoying how beautiful watercolor can be and seeing what it feels like doing and noticing the happy accidents that happen and allowing them. So I'm really more suggesting things. I'm not really in control of this piece, which is really nice. And it will stay wet for a while. You want to put a good amount of water on there. The more the merrier, really, because then the pigment has more flow. And you can dab little bits of water if you want to create plumes, and you can move the paper around to let it drip and just kind of do whatever you want. and then step back and allow the piece to dry. And I even think it's really beautiful how it changes when it dries and kind of takes on a life of its own. So I will allow it to dry fully. This is really important because you don't want your paper to rip when you pull up the masking fluid, which it can. And then you just take a corner of the masking fluid, and this is the other ASMR bit, and you start pulling, and it makes this delightful, rubbery, pinging sound when you pull it up. And it is also just really satisfying to pull this entire design up from one corner to another and kind of enjoy what is underneath. So, as I mentioned, I am giving this piece away. I would love for one of you to have it. And all you need to do is live in the US and comment below. And I will select somebody at random by the end of the week and message you and pop it in the post and send it to your doorstep. Because I really do love giving my art to people. So I do hope that you have enjoyed this fun and easy little technique. And until we meet again, TTFN.